Welcome ladies and gentlemen to a casted game of Age of Empires 4, and today we've got for you the public update preview, the branch of Age of Empires 4 that will be live in Season 4. And today we've got Lash playing in the south corner of the map in pink as the Delhi Sultanate. He's going to be going up against TP Collector in the north in yellow, playing as the Holy Roman Empire. Welcome to Dry Arabia. And this player, TP Collector, is, I believe, actually sortof. Sortof did make it to Red Bull Wololo Legacy, so you may know him from there. Previously from the StarCraft 2 community, I believe, and now he's turned as an Age of Empires 4 professional player, going up against Lash today. And, well, these two civilizations, the Holy Roman Empire, Delhi Sultanate, have had a lot of reworking done to them, so exciting times for us, especially with this matchup with the Delhi Sultanate in the south, having some recent buffs, in particular the Village Fortress upgrade now being away from the actual keep, and being in the landmark, the Castle Age landmark, Compound of the Defender. So as soon as Delhi Sultanate go up to the next stage, the Castle Age, if they choose that landmark, the Compound of the Defender, they can immediately queue up Village Fortresses, which also has had a reduction in research time from 5 minutes to 3 minutes and 45 seconds. The reason why that's super important is because, well, what Village Fortress does is it enables the keeps to be acting like town centers to produce villages. And so, well, we never really used to see it very often, but the Delhi Sultanate in the Castle Age can actually start to have a villager boom, and that can be incredibly important and strong because those keeps can shore up incredibly good area of resources. For example, here, look at this: berries, gold, deer, and stone. At 2 golds as well. I mean, imagine a keep in this position. That would actually offer so much protection and also act as a town center. Not to mention that the keeps are cheaper with the Compound of the Defender. So you're actually getting a keep, which is a town center, at a cost which is less than a usual town center for other civilizations. That is super strong, so I'm excited to see that strategy emerge in Season 4. I suspect it'll be played quite a lot, but, you know, the Delhi Sultanate, of course, do have that feudal age pressure that they have been known to have in Age of Empires 4 up to now. And speaking of feudal age pressure, well, the Holy Roman Empire will be going up with the Minework Palace, which is probably the biggest change of the Holy Roman Empire civilization in this patch. Because this actual landmark now, whilst it retains the benefits it used to have, which is reduction in cost of research, blacksmith research by 40%, and also making them 40% faster, this landmark also contains 2 new technologies, which are incredibly strong for a feudal age push for the Holy Roman Empire. And these 2 technologies are riveted chainmail, where spearmen and horsemen gain +2 melee armor, and also steel barding in the Castle Age, where knights gain +2 armor as well. And so this is an incredibly strong landmark, it feels, at the moment. I'm not sure really if it's better than the Ark and Chapel, but I think that, you know, against civilizations which could be quite feudal age heavy, like the Delhi Sultanate, this Minework Palace could be incredibly strong. We see, well, Lash going up with the Tower of Victory, so we do look to have a feudal age battle on our hands here today, ladies and gents, because this landmark, Tower of Victory for the Delhi, as we've known to come and love, increases the attack speed of infantry by 20%. And so it does look like, well, Lash is gearing up for a feudal age battle here against sortof today. Well, the Minework Palace will be built first, so the Holy Roman Empire will get to the feudal age faster, which is kind of understandable, kind of expected, especially with the bonus of the Prelate, inspiring the villagers, making them gather 40% faster, as we do now see a barracks being placed down for the Holy Roman Empire, so we can see that feudal age pressure immediately going to be coming in, sortof. Now, of course, the Minework Palace also houses a technology which other civilizations do not get, which is marching drills, which increases the speed of their infantry. So an incredibly strong, versatile feudal age possibilities here, because they could get +2 armor for their horsemen and spearmen. They can also get marching drills, which is exactly what sortof is going for increasing the movement speed of his infantry. And we see already man-at-arms coming out for the Holy Roman Empire. One of only 2 civilizations that can build man-at-arms in the feudal age. Of course, the English could do the same, and it could be a problem for the Delhi Sultanate because the man-at-arms aren't, you know, the easiest unit to counter. Of course, these are feudal age man-at-arms, so obviously not as tanky as the Castle Age ones, but I wonder whether the attack speed here buff for the Tower of Victory will help Lash and the Delhi Sultanate today in overcoming the Holy Roman Empire. You see the scout coming forward for Lash. He'll spot those villagers on gold, and this is interesting because, you know, HRE are commonly known for a fast castle type of build, and go to the Castle Age very fast, and you'd want to have this kind of number of villagers, and this could be a bit of a bait here because, you know, obviously sortof here collecting gold really for upgrades. He's getting wheelbarrow and probably looking to get more upgrades for the Minework Palace. And that scout going there for Lash might be confused and sending information back home, making him think that, well, maybe the HRE are going fast castle here, but they're not. And the reason why I like HRE in this kind of feudal age pressure is because they've got such a strong economy behind this. They got the prelate obviously boosting up the villages by 40%, gather speed, which is incredibly strong, and they've got access to a special unit which other units, the other civilizations just do not get. That is the man-at-arms. Blacksmith coming out for Lash. They're going to get some upgrades here. And an archery range is the military production building of choice for Lash today, as we see the Monarch Palace is indeed being used. He's getting iron undermesh first, and that makes complete sense, especially if he's going to look to dive the town centres with his man-at-arms, but also to counteract the damage he's going to receive from these archers. Don't forget as well, it does take time for the Delhi Sultanate to have these upgrades come through. He's queued up Steeled Arrow, but he's going to have to wait a full 2 minutes 20 seconds before that comes in, whereas the Monarch Palace not only makes the research cheaper, but makes it quicker too. So 42 seconds, well 15 seconds, and that would be researched in 42 seconds, iron undermesh. That's super fast. You know, that's a good minute and a half faster than the Delhi Sultanate, and cheaper too. There is a double barracks production worth of man-at-arms, and I think this match will be interesting to tell us who's the new king of the feudal age out of these two civilizations, as we do now see a stable coming out for Lash. Obviously the Tower of Victory won't help those units coming out from the stable, but still need that armoured composition to try and tank some of the damage, to try and protect those archers. The horseman might be acting as a good meat shield, is going to try and take some damage out on these man-at-arms, but without Steeled Arrow, he's only really tickling those man-at-arms. As you can see, barely doing any damage to these guys at all, especially with the iron undermesh upgrade in there for sortof. Right, things are slowly starting to brew, I think, here. Both players kind of a bit standoffish. Looks like sortof is waiting for the upgrades to come in. He's looking for Steeled Arrow. Sorry, Bloomery rather, the attack melee upgrade. Coming in for cheap, 30, 60 food. I think it was 30 food, 75 gold. Just disappeared there from the tooltip. 6 villages on gold. Still looking to continue those upgrades. Maybe getting siege engineering behind this as well. But look at the stream of man-at-arms coming forward. It's actually starting to push forward just a little bit. It's got a decent number of them now. 7 of them. And it's denying gold for Lash, which is not necessarily the biggest problem in the world, of course, because the Delhi Sultanate don't really need gold at this point, other than to produce the scholars, which is actually pretty important. Obviously going with the Tower of Victory means we can't get cheaper scholars that he would normally get from the Dome of the Faith. So being off gold is a bit of a problem, actually, in this way. We won't be able to get the scholars out and about. And speaking of scholars, by the way, ladies and gents, in Season 4, in this patch, the heal ability for scholars has been reduced. It's only now 40% healing when their units are in combat. Before it used to be a little bit broken, the healing power, so it's good to see that nerf there, as we see now sort of starting to put on some pressure with the man-at-arms. The interesting thing is that, well, it's not like the Holy Roman Empire are conceding their plan here. I mean, Lash will be aware this could potentially be a full feudal age push. But Lash, you know, he knows what's happening. It's not like sortof is doing it super fast. The question is whether they'll be able to stand up to it, because we do see 2 horsemen and a scout going north there. Looks like Lash is trying to find out what's going on, information. Maybe to get some raiding bonuses, or damage rather, but back at home, sortof is actually just constantly pumping out those units. The gold is obviously not only helping him getting upgrades, but also funding these early man-at-arms. But 7 villages on gold seems to be enough for him here, and he's still relying on sheep, which is the important bit. Being able to just rely on that source of food is so important to be able to pump out those units. As he now does head out towards berries, and he's actually going to go to deer first, which makes sense. Going to be building an outpost just to be safe, but he's got to be careful because there are 2 horsemen, keeping 2 man-at-arms close by, protecting those villagers as they venture out. And this is the nice thing for the Holy Roman Empire already, is that they've got a unit, a lead, and just with the tempo of the game, the fact that there were tempo aggressors early on, Lash has to kind of stay at home with his army, because if he ventures out, he could be caught. These archers, if they're caught out of position, they could be gone very quickly. And this allows the Holy Roman Empire now to actually make use of the pocket economies, make use of these deer patches that are out there, gather that free food, and that is huge. Because of course, don't forget, Holy Roman Empire, whilst they do have the bonus of the prelate boosting the gathering speed of these villagers, it does mean they rip through their resources a little bit quicker. It does mean they need to venture out into the pocket economies even earlier, otherwise they have to have a very hard farming transition. Quite a few villagers here idle for Lash. I'm not sure what these guys are up to. Heading back towards the sheep now, I suspect, or maybe wood, we'll have to see. In any case, the horsemen looking to try and get some damage, looking to push those villagers away from berries. Does get some value in terms of idle time, but the town centre's close by anyway. Man-at-Arms continue the chase. Man-at-Arms should be enough there to deal with this, especially with the melee upgrade as well. So, looks like really, sort of is getting pretty much every upgrade he can get at this point. Even getting the eco upgrades. He's got horticulture already, getting double broadaxe too. Of course, the Delhi Sultanate get these things for free, as he does now manage to get 4 scholars. Now, what we can tell in this early game is that, well, with sort of actually pushing the villagers off of gold, it's meant that the scholar count isn't as big as it could have been. Lash moving out with 4 scholars, but of course had to idle production from these mosques for quite some time, so we do see a lot of man-at-arms, 22 to be exact. And, they might be looking to take a fight here. The horsemen, 3 horsemen riding in, might be taking a little bit of damage. Managed to pull away. But certainly fighting over the central sacred site. And what's super important as well is that, well, the Holy Roman Empire being feudal aggressors as well, Delhi's win condition, or a win condition, a strong point of attack for them is actually the sacred sites, but they haven't been able to access them because of the pressure that's coming out. And here's the battle that's ensuing, going towards that gold vein, and the man-at-arms continuing the chase. He actually wants the pressure here. A couple of horsemen looking to try and tank the damage. Archers there in the back with the scholars in between. Scholars looking to heal up the units, but this could be the fight that ends the game, taking a big fight. And the crazy thing is that, well, Lash knew this was going to happen at some point, and it looks like 4 scholars might not be enough. The archers are taking so much damage from the man-at-arms. The man-at-arms even diving underneath the town centre, which has 15 villagers garrisoned inside, causing some idle time. Horsemen are diving in too, and the man-at-arms are just ripping through everything here. The villager count relatively even, but behind this, the military causing so much problems here for the Delhi Sultanate. Don't forget, 15 villagers are idle there for Lash. They are not gathering resources. And the 40 to 39 economy, don't let it fool you, because the prelates are working in behind this. And wow, that army's being decimated. Sortof is going to be cleaning this all up. Man-at-arms diving in the town centre, and even the scholars aren't enough there for the Delhi Sultanate. They have been overrun by Man-at-arms. The Holy Roman Empire, possibly a new feudal age king in Age of Empires 4.